Going out to the block, come on. All the homies in front of the liquor store. Little girls jumping rope. Grandmas hanging out the windows. All the hustlers trying to get that dough. The whole hood. Walk with me. Come on.
It's the congressman and the policeman and the businessman working hand in hand. And the way they play, we don't have a chance.
Hello, I'm Wayne Gaskin, and this is my creative space.
This little kid on my block, so I stopped my car and jumped out like why not? What y'all doing to that man? I'm saying them handcuffs too tight for his hands and legs.
My background starts from architecture. When I was a kid, probably like 5 years old, I was in kindergarten, and when all the other kids were in the corner off playing with each other, doing whatever they were doing, I didn't even know what they were doing because I was somewhere else building blocks, you know, building castles and structures. By myself. So since very young, that has always been my interest. You know. Later on, I come to find that my great-grandfather was also a builder. So I went to school, got an associate's degree in CAD, and then I've got a bachelor's degree in architecture. I worked in the field for a while and got a camera and started exploring architectural photography. The camera got stolen, paused for a little while. And then I got back into, you know, shooting more, and everything just started to pick up. I always had an interest in photography, even in school. School was the same thing. When I got my camera in school, I started to get heavy into the photography end of it, and then my camera got stolen. So I had to pause again and just mainly focus on the architecture.
Grandmas hanging out the windows. All the hustlers trying to get that dough. The whole hood. Walk with me.
So I've used my background in architecture and architectural design to kind of bring a certain element of depth to my photo. I really have a heavily versatile creative background. So I try to add and incorporate that in a lot of my work and try to provide something that people find interesting, you know, that they can relate to. And a few of my pieces I've begun to recognize that they do touch, you know, different individuals in different ways. And you know, when you're creating something, you don't always think, oh man, people are gonna love this. You think, man, I love this, you know, and this is a cool piece, I like this. And then when you get out there and you show people and you like, and people give you the input and the feedback, well, you know, I really like this piece or I really like that piece, then it starts to give you a grasp of the type of things that people find interesting. One of my favorite pieces that I shot is actually shot right here where we're standing along these railroad tracks that lead into the city. My architectural background plays a huge role in the style that I shoot and the way that I compose. Architecture is all about lines, you know, and constructing form and leading perception and leading energy. So I try to incorporate that into all of my pictures. And in this particular image, I use the railroad tracks as the leading lines for perception into the photo, into the city, which is in the background. A lot of people may or may not know that Atlanta was originally called Terminus, and it was it's a heavy railroad town. So it's got a lot of tracks leading in and out and around the city. So in order to capture the very essence of what the city was through its architecture as well as its transportation, I used the leading lines of the railroad track to express entering the city. And at any given point in time, there'll also be another image of one exiting the city. But if you exit the city, you generally won't see it in the background.
Grandmas hanging out the windows. All the hustlers trying to get that dough. The whole hood. Walk with me. Come on.
It's the congressman and the policeman and the businessman working hand in hand.
So we have to talk about the choice of equipment. You know, a lot of times choice of equipment boils down to what your finances look like. So I am a struggling and starving artist, so I have a cute camera. You know, it's a good camera. I shoot with the Rebel T1i, and you know, it's kind of an entry-level model, but it's a 15 megapixel, and you don't really need anything past 8 megapixels unless you're doing huge blow-ups. I'm not doing any billboard work right now, so it works for me. You know, I'm very efficient with the tools that I have. You know, as I was saying earlier, it's not about having the most expensive equipment, but about knowing how to use the equipment well that you have. My artistic inspiration comes from a very diverse stream of sources. One being Shannon McCullum, which is another dope photographer. He's a living legend here in Atlanta. He's got a great eye, and he's got a great understanding of the medium, and he's just an all-around good person, man. Good people are one of the things that inspires you most and inspired me most more than anything in the world. My overall goal with my photography is to create art that people like and can enjoy, and that's timeless. When people come and they see my pictures and they purchase it, you know, it means a lot to me. The fact that they'll spend the money that they worked hard for to, you know, purchase my creation and put it in their home or their office, you know, so that they'll see it every day, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, that's a lasting legacy that I leave behind. And every time that person looks at that photo, they'll have a positive memory of me and have a positive memory of whatever it is that they're, you know, whatever subject matter of the print that they bought. I eventually want to be able to, you know, travel around the world and, you know, take photographs and study buildings and architecture and people, and be able to relay, you know, the world as I see it through my pictures.
Going out to the block, come on. All the homies in front of the liquor store. Little girls jumping rope. Grandmas hanging out the windows. All the hustlers trying to get that dough. The whole hood. Walk with me.